our 2020 Miss University of Southern Mississippi. There was a lot of misses there, Vivian, and I was getting tripped up over them, but we're going to get it right. So you are the Miss University of Southern Mississippi 2020, and you are actually calling us from Washington, D.C., not Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So we're excited to catch up with you and find out what is going on in your life. So first, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is an exciting time. We were just celebrating the fact that the Pine Belt is a veterans community. There was a lot of good things going on in your hometown today for Veterans Day. But I know that you've probably been up to a lot, or at least seen a lot in Washington, D.C. today. So quickly just share with us how you made it from Hattiesburg to Washington, D.C. to complete your reign as Miss USM.
Right, absolutely. Well, honestly, the entire thing was totally unexpected. I did want to end up in Washington, D.C. eventually, but I certainly did not expect it to happen this year. But some of the best things happen in the most unexpected ways. So I applied for this job when Miss Mississippi was supposed to be in June of this year. And so I figured that, if I were to get the job, then hopefully I would be able to do it after the competition. And then it was pushed back for another year, and so we'll be having Miss Mississippi in June of 2021. And I was able to take this job, and I was able to come and move here and have this experience. It's been a complete whirlwind. I was offered the job, found an apartment, packed up, and moved and started the new job all in about 3 weeks. So it was a very quick turnaround, but it's been so much fun and such an honor.
And it's an honor, and you're still serving as Miss USM. In fact, I spoke with some people from the university. They say you're up to good things, even though you are miles or even states away. But how has it been, even being a reigning queen during a pandemic? Has it shifted at all in how you get out and still approach the public or your platform, or are all the girls just sort of taking a whim with it and rolling as best they can?
I think that's something that's so special about this organization. These girls really just roll with the punches and just make the best of things. And that's kind of all what we've been doing over this past year. A lot of these girls are going back to grad school. They're taking jobs in other states. They're doing all kinds of different things while still having their titles. And for me specifically, I work for a Mississippi office, and so it's been such an honor to be connected to my home state while in Washington, D.C. So that's been really special for me, and it's been a good way for me to stay connected with my home state and my home university. But honestly, being Miss USM in Washington, D.C. is kind of similar as it would have been if I were in Hattiesburg right now, simply because of COVID-19 and so many things being virtual, and there's a lot of events that were canceled, or things that I would be doing that I can't now because of the coronavirus, and because we want to respect social distancing and nip this thing in the bud as soon as we can. And so I've been able to do some virtual things and connect with people through the wonderful power of technology that we have nowadays. But that's something that would be very similar to if I were in Hattiesburg. So it's been such a joy to be able to stay just as involved with Miss USM while having a full-time job in the nation's capital.
And you also have a platform that's up to some good things. Tell us about Capable.
Right. So my social impact initiative is called Capable, Turning Disabilities into Capabilities. And it is a K through 2 character education curriculum for students, and it is twofold. I created it with the mission to educate non-disabled students on disability and how to appropriately approach students with disabilities, and to empower students with disabilities, to kind of teach them how to advocate for themselves and how to use their voice. And kindergarten through second graders are such a very impressionable group of kids, and so it's important that the lesson of disability inclusion and embracing diversity among your peers is a lesson that should be ingrained in somebody at a very young age, because, I believe at the core of who I am that everything starts with education. And so I have had the honor and privilege of promoting this curriculum all over the state of Mississippi. It has reached 3,400 students, in Mississippi, and I'm continuing to do that even from D.C. I've been in contact with some teachers and administrators and superintendents, really trying to push this message forward because I believe it's a very important one, and it is one that will positively affect these students in the coming years. They are the ones that are going to be responsible for what our world looks like in 20, 30 years. And so we want to make sure that that's a diverse and an inclusive world.
And it's so good to start them, as you mentioned early. I've got a third grader this year, Vivian, and I know the power of sort of in talking about inclusion and making sure they recognize the abilities in everybody and making friends with a wide variety of people. I think it's a wonderful, you don't call it a platform anymore. I know there's some technical terms that have changed over the years with the Miss America pageant and platform, but to me, it's still considered a platform and sort of a good thing. Now, you've had to push pause for Miss Mississippi, and that will come back up in 2021, although it will be here before we know it. So is there anything you girls are doing to sort of get ready or gearing up? Are you continuously to keeping that, walk on point, or how do you stay in pageant shape for an extra year?
Absolutely. I think it's just like anything else. It's all about time management and managing your priorities. For me, most of what I needed to get done has already been done, which is great because I can focus on my job here. So for right now, it's just been a matter of upkeep. It's been keeping myself in shape, keeping myself practicing my talent and honing in on my interview skills. But a lot of it is honestly life experience, communicating with people, being out in the community, just advocating for the issues that I care about. That's something that I do on an everyday basis. And so what better way to prepare for Miss Mississippi than to do that? But other than that, for me, I've just been keeping up with a regular prep schedule, minus, a general work day. I'll come home and do that, and sometimes on the weekends, too.
And then fit in all of your Miss USM sort of roles and agenda, which I know has looked different for all the ladies with the crown this year because of COVID. But do you think you'll be getting back here? When does your time in Washington wrap up, or is that a permanent position? How does that work?
I assume it's a position as long as they will have me.
Okay, so it's what an awkward question for you, Vivian. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't know if it was for a certain amount of time, or so it's a position. Right. Position. Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is an entry-level position in the United States Senate, and it's been so much fun. It's been a learning experience for sure. I did have an internship in Washington, D.C. while I was in college for a semester, so that was kind of limited, so it's been nice to be back here. Ideally, though, I will get to move back home for a year and be Miss Mississippi, but we'll see.
I was going to ask if you were going to get the graces to maybe press pause and come back and compete for Miss Mississippi in 2021, and what would happen if you were to win the crown. So it sounds like you've already thought a lot of that through. There's a lot of girls or maybe families listening to Good Things, Vivian, that maybe were on the journey of having Miss Mississippi as a goal or a dream before COVID hit. And I know so many pageants just look a little bit different right now, right? I mean, even Miss Mississippi's on pause to pick back up, hopefully, #normal, whatever that looks like in 2021. But what would you say to those girls that maybe didn't have a title to go into 2021, but were sort of in the circuit? Would you tell them to keep faith or keep at it, or how would you handle that now?
Absolutely. I could not promote this program or just pageantry in general enough. I have had an abundance of opportunities and of things happen in my life that I credit solely to the Miss America organization. They are why I can graduate. I've graduated college with, debt free. They're the reason that I can go back to school and be able to pay for that. They're the reason that I have the opportunity to have this social impact initiative that is so near and dear to my heart. I've been able to do so many different things. Honestly, this job, I would not have had the interview skills or the confidence to apply for a job of this caliber. And so I would absolutely say, step out of your comfort zone, be bold, be yourself, do something like this, be involved in the Miss America organization. I can't promote it enough, but yeah, absolutely. I would just say go for it. And even amid COVID-19, If there are specific guidelines, just do it anyway, because the experience is one of the most valuable experiences you will ever have.
Well, we hope that we get to experience you in the studio when you're back in Mississippi. Vivian, give us a call. You're always welcome here in Good Things. Keep up the good work. We look forward to keeping up with you over on Instagram at MSU Miss USM, I think it is, and we'll link that. But thank you for your time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All righty, stick with